What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of All Wrapped Up. Today, we're talking to Eddie at Street Image Wraps. We're talking about bad paint, training classes, going commercial, and more. Let's get right into it. What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to All Wrapped Up podcast. We'll be interviewing industry-leading wrap companies to share tips, tricks, stories, and more. So I want to thank Eddie for coming on the podcast today from Street Image. How you doing, Eddie?
Good, man. How's it going?
It's going great, man. So you guys are out of California. How's the weather there?
Oh, man, it's beautiful. We get a little bit of everything out here. Cold, hot, a little bit of everything. Right now, it's slightly cold, but not super cold.
Definitely. We just got 7 inches of snow over the weekend here in Boston, so I'm in good spirits. Cool. Tell me what you're working on at your office now. What were you guys working on today?
Right now, what we're working on is we're actually working on a Harley Street Bob wrap. We're doing in the KPMF color. Also, we got a Lexus that just got dropped off to do in another KPMF color, red to black iridescent. Couple little jobs here and there. We're actually doing a frame for a big rip. So we're doing that in psychedelic. We get a lot of these little crazy jobs that a lot of other wrap shops don't want to take in. It's a little bit difficult for us, but we're the go-to guys for that.
Definitely. How many wraps are you guys usually doing a week?
We try to do 2 full wraps a week. November and December have been really good to us so far. For some reason, I guess is when we step up on marketing because it slows down, we get a huge result during this time. So we're doing a lot of wraps. Just booked another one today for a Range Rover wrap next week. So we're doing really good. But typically we try to do 2 full wraps per week.
Well, that's a good average, to crank them out. I mean, how many guys you got working with you?
Right now, it's a total of 3 guys, including myself. So me and my partner Ryan, we pretty much run the entire shop. And then we have Gio, which we pretty much trained from the get-go to help us out, and he's been with us for a couple of years. So it's really just us 3 running the whole shop as far as doing wraps right now.
Nice. Now, what do you guys do for marketing when it comes to those slow months? What do you guys boost up your Instagram stuff, or do you do outside marketing in your area? What do you do separately that everyone else doesn't do?
We try to stay current with Instagram, at least 3 to 4 posts a day. But honestly, that's our only source of marketing would be Instagram. Sometimes we do a little promotions on the ads.
Right.
But mainly it's just word of mouth for right now. We've been doing this for over 8 years, so we got a lot of word of mouth customers.
So how did you basically get into the wrap industry? Just you yourself, and then you could talk a little bit about your partner and how they can kind of meshed in together and you guys created this business.
So I actually started tinning. I want to say almost, or it's common for a lot of rappers to start tinning and then move on to raps. But I started tinning, it was cool. And I just got a little bored with it, and I seen raps in a Fellers magazine. Just so happens that magazine just fell into my lap somehow, and I looked into it and I was like, I could probably do this. I actually originally wanted to do custom paint, and
really,
this just came at a perfect time. I picked up a roll of 3M matte military green, and I did my first Challenger for a buddy of mine. And it literally just went from there. He had his own little car club, and we did a couple of his members' cars. It just literally went from there.
And it's funny that you say that, coming from the window tint industry into the wrap industry. I feel like it's easier from someone who is in the window tinting industry to come into the wrap industry, but going vice versa, it's harder. I tried doing tint myself, and I'll tell you, it's very tedious. You really have to know how to use that particular film because it's a lot thinner than it is the wrap film.
Yeah, here's the difference with tint and vinyl wrap. A lot of people would think that if you know how to tint, you can wrap. You know, some things are used, some aren't. But the difference with tint is that there's a specific technique per car for window tint versus almost the same technique for every car on vehicle wraps. That's the difference.
Right.
So that's why it's a lot harder to learn.
Yeah, and the tools are a lot different too. I mean, you're using those rubberized squeegees to kind of get everything out, and God forbid you get a finger. Those things are like the
Oh
worst to get out. You can't use that much heat, and then there's like too much water or soap. It's a nightmare.
yeah, it's not forgiving at all like how it is vinyl. It
Right.
can give you a little bit of gray hair sometimes. Even for professional guys, you just have those days on tint. It's just how the way it goes.
Right, right, right. What the most tedious project you've ever had that really beat you up on an install for a wrap? Like what if as far as like the car or the material that you used?
It was a couple factors that went into play. I want to remember years ago I had taken this. It was a G55 Mercedes, those box trucks.
Yeah.
And for some reason it had just this worst paint on it. The paint was flaking off everywhere. It looked like somebody had just painted right over the clear coat without sanding it. So I don't know why I took in that job. We were doing it in satin pearl white, and man,
Oh.
every time we wanted to pop that vinyl up, the paint was coming off. So and it would stick to that messed up paint. So then that piece of wrap is done, and then at that time I didn't know too much on how the pearl is supposed to lay out flat versus going up on the door and then going side to side on this panel. So when I pulled that thing out, it was just mismatched completely. I actually ended up
Oh.
having to take a loss for that, and I had took doors off. I had took everything completely off, and I gave the customer the money back, and I was like, you know what, I can't do nothing with this. I'm taking a loss.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, you
that was
try to do the right thing and then next thing you know, it bites you in the end.
yeah. So that from all those little jobs, we've learned to pick and choose nowadays.
Right, right, right. Do you guys have a specific contract when it comes to that and take notes on the vehicle? Because that's something that I kind of learned being in the wrap industry is, you know, go through the process as if the thing's coming in for a damaged paint job.
Hmm.
Write exactly where the dents are. If the car's document if the car's been painted in a specific area, what's the time frame that the car was given back? Has it been 6 months? Was it baked? Was it not baked? Because a lot of that comes into factor when you're wrapping the car. People just think, oh, I'll just paint it, get it right to the wrap guy, and he'll wrap over it. And
Yeah,
then when you go rip off the wrap, it's ripping off the clear coat, it's ripping off the paint. It's you're really stuck with a mess at the end. And
yeah,
I've gone through my nightmares too, where the person didn't tell me the car was painted or panel was painted. They come back to me three years later. Oh, I want to take it off, and okay, I make them write a waiver prior to me ripping it off because I don't know what's gonna happen. Next thing you know, there's a bunch of paint coming off, and you don't want to be stuck with that type of bill either at the end.
yeah, and that's we've learned from those experiences too. Luckily, at the time when I was tinning, I was also sharing a shop with the painter, so I got to learn a lot of some of the paint techniques and how to spot paint and repaint, and so I've learned a little bit of background for vehicle paint, and that's helped me a lot
Yeah.
with the wrap industry, especially with tools and everything. It's almost a similar tools used for certain things on paint than it is vinyl. But
Right.
nowadays, having gone through pretty much every nightmare you could think of, nowadays I can tell what's been repainted. Most of the times, even on a brand new car, believe it or not, the bumper has been repainted. Um,
Right.
Either front, rear, or something. It happens. So I tend to look for certain areas for where the paint doesn't really lay in, and I'll tell the customer, hey, this, and the customer wouldn't even know. The customer would think the car is
Right.
brand new, original paint, and then when I tell them that, I have to tell them, but they get kind of mad because they bought a vehicle that's been repainted, but it was brand new. So I tell them that, and I'm like, hey, we can put the wrap on here, that's fine, but I can't warranty anything as far as it coming off. Anything else, completely fine. But
Right.
I get customers in here that have like a whole side redone, or most of the car repainted. Some I have to take in, and some I turn down because the paint is just not up to wrap specifications. So um, that's something we do visually. I verbally tell the customer, and then once they're okay with it, we go from there.
Right. What type of materials are you guys comfortable using? You guys just using 3M? You guys using a little Avery,
You know,
Oracal?
we use 3M. We use everything. We use Oracal, 3M, KPMF, whatever it is that the customer likes, we'll use. We don't have a preference. It's whatever the customer picks. But we're versatile for every field. Chrome,
How do you
KPMF,
how do you
everything.
feel about the KPMF material? I'm not familiar with it. Could you tell me a little bit about it?
So KPMF is, I want to say, is the nicest material once it's laid. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Putting it on the vehicle is, it's like trying to wrap a vehicle with duct tape. It's that tacky.
Really?
So
So
yeah,
it
it's
doesn't really give you too much snap or slidability like 3M does?
no slidability whatsoever. As wherever it
Ooh,
touches is where it sticks. And
really?
that gives us an advantage. Um, because not a lot of people in our area rap with KPMF or even know about KPMF, and it gives us a little bit of advantage because we're willing to do that extra work and deal with those issues installing it. Um, but we've mastered it already. We love the film, how it looks, how their color options. It's just super difficult to install. Um, Definitely not recommended for learning on.
Is that what they have going on? Is they have better color color preferences?
They have what their little niches is. They're two color iridescent, so they're the only ones that have like the purple that goes to black or the red that goes to black. Um,
Right.
those are probably the most popular ones. They have some really nice pearls, some really nice chameleons, but their little niches, those shifting colors, the ones that go just from one color to the other, and it's a super nice finish. People think it's paint once it's installed. Um, People are scratching their heads thinking, what, how can this be wrapped? That's KPMF for you. It lays once it's done. It's super smooth. It's like a velvety type of finish. And their prices are a little expensive too on those wraps. They're some can range up to about $1,200 for one roll. So
Wow.
yeah, but it's super hard to install. But we do it all the time. Um,
So what do you use a technique with the backer and just only take off a little bit of the backer, tack the corners, lay that down,
yeah,
peel a little bit as you go?
Yeah, exactly. That's our best friend when it comes to installing a KPMF is that backing paper splitter. Without that, trying to do it all one piece, taking all the whole liner off, you're gonna be there. You're gonna be doing a hood for like an hour and a half trying to get it laid by yourself, especially.
Right. And you probably want to have an extra installer with you during the install.
Hmm.
And how do you like the Avery material? Other than, you have to really press down a little harder than the 3M or anything like that. I really like their color selection. 3M's definitely bringing up their game and talking a little bit more about the, more colors and that new color they just come up with and everyone's using it to wrap right now is the psychedelic color.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
that's a pretty trippy color.
every time I'm going through the feed, there's like another car that's getting wrapped that color. I think that's going to be the color that, 2017, that's going to be the 3M color.
I got a lot of people asking me, what color that is. Ever since I don't know if you seen that Camaro that we just did in the psychedelic.
I did. How good was that install for you to
That
wrap
was
with that
that was
specific? Because
smooth.
that's a brand new Camaro, right?
It was a brand new Camaro. That one's smooth. We're familiar with Camaros. We do them all the time. But that one was pretty smooth, and the whole front fascia comes off. We take off all the pieces on the bumpers to get behind there. it was a pretty quick and smooth wrap. Nothing crazy. No special like grill wraps or anything like that. It was just a simple wrap. Customer dropped it off, picked it up within a couple days.
Nice. Did you guys do door jams or anything, or was it just exterior?
Just exterior. I try to, door jams is something we could definitely do, but I try to educate the customer a little bit as far as door jams. I tell them we could definitely do the door jams, but you're gonna spend this much more money. The whole
Right.
purpose for wrap is that it's temporary, so you could definitely take it off in a couple of years and do something else. If we do door jams, then we have to pretty much remove everything again. We go behind hinges. It becomes a permanent wrap when we do door jams. So
Right.
I try to educate them and I try to tell them, as soon as all the panels are closed, you won't see any part of the original color. And most of the times they're okay with that. It's just when I get these old school guys that have always done paint and always done door jams, those are the guys
Right.
that tend to want it. Um, some of these guys with the newer cars, after I tell them about the wrap being permanent after we do door jams, they kind of move away from it because they always want to change up the colors either a year or 2 years from now.
Yeah, and that's tough, on the installer. I mean, to take apart a door, then you got to put the door somewhere safe, and then wrap everything, put the door back. You've got a lot of wires running through there. It's a tough installation for sure.
It's super tough. There's ways to do it with the door on. It's just it's so much more difficult just because you have to work around a lot of areas. You have to patch up where the plugs are. It's just super difficult. And then some vehicles you have to take the doors off to get it done right. But then sometimes,
Right.
like on American cars, you take them off and then you have a realignment issue. Versus say we've done Maserati door jams. It's literally two bolts. It comes up and one plug just unplugs right away. And you don't have to worry about alignment issues because the actual hinge is bolted onto the car. So it's just
Right.
different per job.
Yeah, I think just exterior wrapping, doing the typical stuff, mirrors, headlights, taillights, gaskets, and drip rails, and all that stuff is just kind of the best thing. And peeling off the bumpers or taking them off completely if you can, if you're able
Hmm.
to. Sometimes people can't, and it's tough when you don't have the equipment for it.
Exactly. Yeah. And the way we've always done our business is we try to make it look like original paint. Whatever gets in our way of of doing it one piece or just gets in the way to where we have to cut around something, we'll take it off completely, whether we have to
Right.
struggle or not. That's how we've always done our wraps, and that's how our name kind of got out there. Versus a lot of other wrap shops that just cut around.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It's the make or break deal, and it separates your shop from all the other shops. Is the quality and durability and pretty much how you sell it.
Exactly. Yeah, and in our area, we've kind of stood out just because we did all those hard to do stuff. Like we'll do the impossible with rap. We'll do the stuff that nobody else wants to do, and that's helped us out a lot. It's been an advantage for us just because we've gotten known because of that. Hey, Street Hammers, they take everything apart, or Street Hammers, they'll do the door jams. We were doing door jams when we first started, and that kind of set us apart too. So it definitely
Right.
helped us out a lot.
Now, scrolling through your Instagram feed, I saw that you did I think it was an M5 in the red chrome.
Yep.
How can you take me through that type of installation?
That I
Given
want to
that
say
the chrome is probably not the worst, but probably not the funnest to install.
definitely not the funnest, especially on those rear bumpers on those M5s. It's super round. We're trying to make the chrome work around that edge. That was probably, from what I remember, the toughest part. We did that red chrome in Hexus, and the reason we chose Hexus is because compared to Avery has like that white type of liner when you split the wrap open. I don't know if you've seen it before.
Right.
Hexus doesn't. Hexus just literally just chrome red, no liner. Stretches a lot better, and it was available in 54 inches versus 48.
Right.
So that's why we
I
went
did
with
not know
Hexus.
that. That's actually that's really good information though. I didn't know that Hexus made it in 54 you said?
54 inches.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And do you find that you have to laminate the chrome or can you leave that the way that it is? Because I know a lot of
No,
people are laminating the Avery stuff just to give it that extra durability.
it does help, but there's no need. Honestly, now with this, especially with the ceramic coating stuff, there's no need for
Right.
lamination or extra stuff like that. It went just fine. I love Hexus Chrome just because how it stretches,
Hmm.
leaves no fog. Um, but yeah, that one I remember doing the back bumper. Not only that, on the back bumper, the paint was flaking off. All the clear coat was coming off. So we had to sand that down completely and then lay the wrap on top. But we had about, I want to say 4 guys trying to stretch around that corner. One guy pulling up, one guy pulling down, me heating it up with the steamer.
Yeah.
It was stressful, man. It had me breaking sweat a little bit, but
Are
luckily
you
we got
guys
it.
using
Yeah.
the heat lamps?
We use the heat lamps a lot, but for chrome we use steamers. Steam,
Steamers.
yeah. What it does, steam is like a safer heat, so you don't have to worry about burning chrome or having it melt or anything fogging up. Steam, it's a little bit different type of heat, but it's the
Right.
only way to get chrome down.
That's a great technique though, using the steamer. I know I've
Yeah,
seen a couple videos of people taking pictures with the steamers for some installations. Um, but me personally, I never would have thought to use a steamer for that particular install, which is
yeah, and we
great.
don't. Yeah, we only use it for chrome wraps. Um, it's completely different from a heat gun. Completely different. You don't have to worry about heating it up too much and it creating a fog. Steam is just,
Right.
you have to deal with the water, but it's a safer heat.
And plus with the water, with it making it a little wet, I mean, you probably want the wrap to be a little wet, especially on the exterior, so the squeegee glides through it, you know,
Exactly.
so
Yep.
it alleviates the scratching and whatnot.
Yeah, it
What
does
are you
work
guys
for.
using for squeegees for that particular install?
We use, what do we use on that? I believe Yellow Tools has like a banana felt squeegee. We
Okay, you're
use
using
that for.
Yellow Tools?
Yep, we use that for that particular job. Typically on a daily basis, we just use the monkey strips.
Okay.
We used to use Roly Pro, but I believe they discontinued those. Roly Pro had like a nice
Did they?
velvet. Yeah. They had a nice little velvet type of squeegee. I personally liked it, but they stopped making them for some reason.
Hmm. I was always a geek wrap guy for a little while until I could find out that you could switch out those buffers all the time. And now, believe it or not, I've been using the Pro Series
Yeah.
buffers. Those things are great. For the price, you get 10 and 10, 10 of the wet ones and 10 of just the regular ones. And I'll probably get maybe on a normal wrap, maybe 2 cars out of it.
Oh, okay.
But it's way easier. Just rip them off. Use a 3M gold squeegee or an Avery squeegee, and just keep on reusing it and ripping it off, put a new one on, ripping it off, put a new one on. It's a great investment, and I think they got a great thing. I'm actually trying to talk to the guys over there and try to work something out to get them on the podcast and
Oh, okay.
start advertising this stuff. I love it. Between the buffers and their gloves, they have a great product.
Yeah, I haven't personally tried those. We've been stuck on monkey strips for a long time, so that's like our go-to thing. But I'm gonna try it definitely now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, give them a try. I know they have the fingers. You can actually use your phone. So if you get a phone call or you gotta check an email real quick, you don't have to actually take the glove off now. And I know a couple people are trying to get that technology on the tips of the gloves for the thumbs and the pointer fingers.
Yeah,
Um, but I think they were like one of the first ones to actually put it on there, and I love those gloves.
the Pro Wraps, is that the same as the Pain is Dead glove?
The Pain is Dead, yeah, they're like together, kind of merged with it, or
Okay.
they're using their uh, logo brand on there, stitched on the buffers or the top of the gloves.
Yeah, I have one of those painted dead gloves. They were cool. They're just a little thin and don't last as long. Um,
Yeah.
I got a hole through mine pretty quick, so I'm stuck back with my little my Oracal glove that we got at SEMA. It was a
All
blue
right.
one. Yeah, so those are a little bit thicker.
So you attended SEMA, huh?
Yeah, yeah, we went.
How
I,
how was
we
the
only went for
experience?
about 24 hours. It was pretty good. We go to SEMA almost every year. This year I just wanted to go straight to the booth that we wanted to go to, do our business, and come back home. We did it real short. Usually, like last couple of years, we go for the full 4 days, but we just got a lot of work going on at the shop, so we wanted to head out there real quick, come right back, get back to work.
Nice. Nice. Did you see any cool wraps down there?
I did. Um, like I said, we went for literally like 24 hours, so we just ran through everything. Um, but I did see a lot of cool wraps out there, a lot of graphic wraps that we seen, which we're actually getting into very soon. We just purchased a printer actually to do graphic wrap.
Nice. I was gonna ask you, are you trying to transition into more of the commercial wraps as opposed to keeping it with the color change or
We're mainly known for specifically color change and more of the custom vehicle wraps. The reason why we just purchased the printer is because we're starting to see color change wraps. They're cool and everything, but people want a little bit more nowadays. So people want those graphics
right.
now versus just having the solid color. So we want to be able to do, say, like a full chameleon wrap with, like a ghosted in background. So that's
Right.
one of the reasons why we wanted to purchase a printer because we're able to offer more customizing on the colors. Um, People want to do these crazy camo prints, or people want their car to look like a NASCAR vehicle. So that's what we're merging into.
The way I ran my company, I originally started to do the color change stuff at first, and
Yeah,
for some reason, the Boston area, just the market itself, isn't that big up here, up east. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of the stuff like west wise or lower like Florida, Texas, I think people are more more into the color change stuff. Up here, it's such a different market, and I ended up just going straight commercial. I was doing a bunch of commercial jobs and just gung ho on that, just because it was a lot easier for me to make a good well, more or less a better business out of it. But purchasing a printer is like the best thing you can do. I mean, it just opens up so many more doors.
and that's what we've realized. That not we mainly purchase a printer to do more custom vehicle wraps, not
Right.
necessarily for commercial, but now we open the door for those commercial accounts as well. So not only are we going to be set apart even more for that custom wrap shop that does those graphics for these certain vehicles or consumer vehicles, but now we can open the door for businesses, which are bigger contracts. It's more money coming into the business, not versus just the relying on just that one customer, to purchase your vehicle wrap.
Right.
So
Right. And
it,
I think
it's
the commercial market is a huge market to tap into. Um, even with just straight vehicle lettering, print cut stuff and whatnot. I mean, the market is just enormous. And you can't miss out on those opportunities either, especially
yeah,
if someone comes off the street and is like, "Oh, can you do a print for me? I'd like to get my truck done." And you can make a couple $100 for really just pressing a button and just putting it
exactly.
on the door. I mean, it's so
Yeah,
much easier, right?
yeah.
What type of printer did you end up purchasing?
So we did some research on a couple printers, and we ended up purchasing the HP 365, the latex. Um,
Right.
Now HP is the only one that offers the latex printing, and the benefits with latex is that the minute it comes out of the printer, it's dry. So there's no gas out
Mm-hmm.
time. There's no time to wait for lamination. It literally, you can start wrapping right away. And in this business, time is money. Nobody has 24 to 48 hours for film to dry and then call the customer back or tell the customer, hey, it's going to take X amount of days because we have to wait for the print to dry. Now we can literally just print, install, it's done. So that's why we
Right.
made the investment for that. And we bought 3 machines. We bought the HP latex printer, the 64-inch, bought a cold laminator 64-inch, and then we also bought a Graphtec plotter, the 64-inch, so we could do die cut stickers.
Right.
So we worked a sweet deal with Grimco, and we just hit that purchase. I'm actually receiving the printer this week, so
Nice.
it's
Nice. Start
it's
the new
perfect.
year.
It's exactly it's perfect timing. Just because now we can look forward to 2018 on doing these custom prints, and we just wanted to end the year right. We also teamed up with the bank to offer financing for vehicle wraps as well. So we got that in the works, ready for 2018.
Yeah, that's a huge incentive because, I mean, obviously some people don't know how much the cost of a wrap is, and sometimes people do have to take a small loan or whatnot to get that extra, wrap done or that fleet done, which is great.
Exactly. We're just trying to make it as easy as possible for the customer. Versus, we have a lot of people that ask us about financing. We'd have to turn them away because when we do in-house financing, it's difficult. We don't have no
It's
capital
tough.
to lend them. Exactly. So
Right.
working with the bank, it just makes it a lot easier. We get paid instantly. They get what they want. They make their payments. Everybody's happy, and it opens the doors
And they're
for
on the
all
hook
those
at the
other people.
bank.
Exactly.
Right.
You just make your payments on time and everything is good. So
Right. And that's got to be a huge market too, as far as like getting those commercial jobs. I mean, those commercial jobs can bring in, people can come in knocking at your door, hey, I need 5 wraps done, and you start throwing some numbers out and then it becomes real once the numbers are
exactly.
thrown out, So to have that extra backer, that could be the make or break for some shops, not having
Most
the
definitely.
financing and the other one having the financing. That's a
Exactly.
great opportunity. And I don't think a lot of wrap shops even think about that. It's more or less how can I make money, but you're looking at it on the other side of the coin, which is how can I make it easier for my customer to get a product for me, which is real good.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, is making it super easy for your customer, providing them, everything right there in house. It's kind of it's like having a convenience store. They have everything you need in one store. You don't have to go nowhere else. Everything is right there, and it's easy, and everybody's happy.
Right. How's the transition with Grimco bringing the machines over to you? Do they set you up with a 1-day training thing and making sure you're all set up? How do they go about doing that?
So they have a 2-day training. It's not scheduled yet because I know Christmas is coming up, so I'm not sure how the schedule is to fly out that guy who's going to train us. But it is a 2-day training that comes with the printer. We get free material to just kind of do whatever we want and work out the kinks with the printer. What else? The printer comes locally, and then the laminator ships from Texas, and then the plotter ships from SoCal. So the other 2 pieces are going to come, I don't know when, but the main training would be on the printer itself. I don't know exactly what they're going to cover. I know they're probably going to cover like setting up, maintenance, what programs to use, but it is 2-day training included.
That's great. That's great. And the good thing about that thing is that you can interchange the heads yourself, which is huge. I come from like a Roland background, using the
Okay.
Rolands. As soon as those heads go, you spend $1,000 each head, and you're paying the technician to come out to fix it. With the
Wow.
HPs, you basically can just click the heads off and put brand new ones in and start printing again, which is great.
Yeah, I have no idea how all that stuff works. I'm hoping, I'm hoping.
Oh man, you're
it's
gonna
gonna
love
cover
it. You're gonna love it.
everything.
I know a bunch of I know a bunch of people in the industry, and they converted from the eco solvent to latex, and it's boosted up their production time and turnaround. Just by getting that latex. Like you said, the extra outgassing. You don't have to have that wait period or that time to put the product on. It's basically ready to go as soon as it comes off the printer, which is great. It's going to change your world. Having that in house, it's going to be great. Now, do you have
Yeah.
someone who can do all the design work and everything out of the three you
No,
guys in the shop?
I'm usually the design guy. I know how to work Photoshop, Illustrator. Um, Honestly, I just learned off of YouTube for years ago, just trying to create my own ads and marketing. So luckily, I've
Yeah.
developed those skills over the years, and I know how to use them pretty good. But I'm looking at it like time wise, running the shop, doing graphic work, doing the physical work. It is going to become a problem. So luckily, I do have a good friend of mine who's a graphic designer who actually wants to transition to doing this type of designing versus right now he does like architectural designs, but he wants to do more of the
Okay.
creative stuff. So luckily, it's just like perfect timing right now. I'm gonna put him on board. He's gonna help us out with the designs, and eventually, he'll become a part of the team. So
Nice.
that's kind of my play right now. But I know I kind of want to just be the guy that can see it, have him build it, and tweak a couple things, and then I can focus more on the marketing side.
Right. Right. Getting the more business into the shop.
Exactly.
What are you guys gonna stick with 3M for the print stuff? IJ 180 printable
No,
material.
actually, that's something that I mean we've done graphic wraps before. Obviously, we have to outsource for the printing, but
Right.
we've always used Avery's. I forgot the series that they have, but it's a printable Avery. Um,
Right. It's
it's
the
pretty much just like
equivalent of
working.
the
Yeah,
IJ.
it'd be the equivalent as that, but it's just Avery, just a lot super easy to install, especially for a graphic wrap.
Right. Who were you using for a lot of your graphic stuff, outsourcing the prints to?
So we're actually, I know all of these print guys, that do fleet work, locally. There's custom vehicle wraps. He's helped me out a lot with his, design and printing. There's also, we have on time signs. We have fast signs, and so I'm linked up with all these shops, and we all help each other out. Whatever he needs something, I'm there for him on whatever I can do. If I need some print, he'll help me out. We all pretty much just work together, because there's enough business for everybody. So
Right.
that's kind of how we work together. Everybody knows each other as far as the rap world
Right.
or the print world.
Which is good because a lot of people would look back and just be like, "Oh, he's competition. He's gonna steal some work," and it's really not what it's about. It's about the community, and there is enough work everywhere for everyone. And you might have a special technique that or a special product that you can install a lot faster than somebody else. They might just give you that job, and next thing you know, you've got a job, or you're too busy. You could kick him back a little bit, and that's what it's all about in this community, and that's why I love the rap industry. It's so versatile, and everyone's got their own little niche, and we can feed
Yeah,
off each other and just talk about techniques and maybe problems that we may have had with an install. I remember numerous times where I couldn't take something apart, and I post a picture of a job on Instagram. Someone would DM me, be like, "Oh yeah, look here," and you can take that part off or use this technique for this particular install. And the amount of people that are out there to help you, it's phenomenal. I love it. I love it. And
yeah,
it's
it's a great
a big
community.
big reason, and it's a big reason why I wanted to start the podcast. It's to get different people from all over the world and just talk about their shops and their struggles, and talk about what they're doing that's different than someone, West Coast compared to East Coast, or vice
Yeah.
versa.
Yeah, like this whole podcast. As soon as I came across your page, I was like, this is, I don't know. I know it's gonna be something great because you get to you get to know what other shops are going through. You get to relate to other shops. You learn, you know, different techniques. You just learn on that other side versus just looking at their page and like, man, they're so cool. And now we can actually see what, or hear what's going on with that other shop. And it's really cool to relate. It really is. You kind of feel like you're the
Yeah,
only one out there before.
for sure. Yeah. I mean, I've gone numerous times where I'm like, there's no way I'm the only one going through this problem right now. There's someone else out there. And a lot of people
Yeah.
don't want to share stuff, which is fine. They want to keep their stuff to themselves. And sometimes, like you said, you have to relate to back to YouTube or look up a video. And some people think, that's kind of like a cop out, or hey, you've only learned by watching videos, but in reality, you've learned from experience. I mean, you've gone through
Yeah.
those struggles and figured out how to problem solve. Is the big thing,
Pretty much, you just fail your way to success. Like, you run out of
That's
things to
it.
fail, and then you get the perfect recipe. So
You
gotta
couldn't have
go
said
through
it
that.
any better. Yeah, fail your way to success, and at the end, you come out on the top, and you build your platform, and you just keep on stepping till you get to the top.
That's all. That's you apply that to anything, man. You'll be successful. So,
Absolutely. And going back on that too, you guys don't advertise too much of too many certs you guys have. Do you guys have any certifications, or is it just self-taught?
we don't have any certifications. That's just this thing when it comes to the rap industry is like, if you're a true rapper that is known, no one cares about certification. No one cares. Hey, I'm 3M certified, every certified, and look at what I do now. It's just,
Right.
you just know. You know what I mean? You just know by the type of work that's being put out, the content that's being put out. But the certification thing, I hear certain guys, oh, hey, I'm 3M certified, I can do this and that, and they don't know how to do anything.
Yeah.
It's
I've come into those type of situations.
and you usually the people that are quote 3M Avery certified end up just using those two brands. And if you're not versatile in this business, you're gonna get stomped on, or you're gonna get chewed up and spit out easily, because you have to offer a variety. So
Right.
That's what we feel about certifications. You like I said, you fail your way to success until you get the right technique for yourself. I was hearing your podcast with Jess, and what did she say? Pretty much, she developed her own technique, no certification needed, and it's an art form that you just put out for your own. Your work speaks for itself.
Right. I think she was relating back to, it's more of an art form as opposed to a like a certification to verify that you can do that specific skill. You don't really need a paper to show someone, hey, I've got this paper so I can put this material on. It's more or less an art form. It's either you can do it or you can't do it. It can't be, you don't really need that, which is great. That was probably, if this is going to be my fourth podcast in, but I think that was probably one of my top podcasts. I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff, a lot of great content, and she put a lot of things in perspective, and building up her YouTube, where she's going to help the industry with showing people how to properly wrap specific things. That's huge. There's nobody out there that wants to give out the secret sauce. And I told her that, that way, it's people learn it and they only want to keep that information to themselves. And it's fine and it's great, but it's going to be a little bit backlash as you move forward. But you know what? You're doing a great service moving forward because you want to see good products and good material and good installations out there, as opposed to, you go to the shopping center and you see a wrap, you're like, oh, and everything's like bubbled and cut wrong, and you're like, damn, like why? Why would you put that out or let that leave your shop?
Here's another thing that I don't understand about the people who say, why are you giving out that secret recipe? They're going to put you out of business if you teach them. But let's face the facts and face reality. We're in 2017. Everything is available online. Everything is available on YouTube. If somebody really wants to learn this stuff, they'll learn it. But
Right.
it takes a certain person to be committed like that to even get to the point to where you're at. So it's like it's not a secret anymore. It really isn't. Anybody
Right.
can learn anything on the internet. You know, I've learned
Yeah,
so
I
many
mean, God, you can go
Yeah,
to college on the internet now. You don't even got to leave your house,
you don't
you
have to
know?
do anything. You don't even need a car nowadays because you got Uber. Like what? It's times have changed. But
Definitely.
it's like I said. It's there's no secret anymore. It's out there if you want to learn the information. So that's what I don't understand. Some people, I get people like, I'm not sure if you know, but we are offering a training class now for people who want to learn how to rap.
I
And
did see that. I did see a post that you put up. Are you gonna be doing like local shops or like just people off the street sign up 1 day seminar and just get the basics down for them?
so it's actually a 3 day course. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We're doing a full launch January, beginning of the year, and we're gonna have everything completely set up.
Give it a plug. Give it your location, times where you can sign up. Let everyone know where you can sign up for this stuff in your area.
Yeah, so right now, we have the website being built for the street image training. We bought all the domains. LearnHowToRap.com, VehicleRapTraining.com. We bought every single domain in the training industry. So you'll be literally be able to type in on Google how to rap or vehicle rap training, and will pop up. All that's being launched right now. We don't have set dates on the training, but pretty much as we get emails and phone calls about it, we'll put out those dates in the future in January. But January is going to be big for us because we're launching that pretty much full steam ahead for vehicle rap training. Um, but we're hosting it at our shop. It's me and my partner Ryan that are going to be doing the training, and we only take in 4 students at a time. And the reason we do that is
Okay, so it's gonna be intimate.
exactly. I don't believe in a training that has 15 students for $500 each. Like, how do you do all that? How do you manage 15 students with 1 or 2 instructors, and how do you actually train them on the rap industry? Are you really training them, or are you just doing a beginner intro on what rap is? What our
Yeah,
whole
going
niche
through the
is
motions.
exactly our whole niche is we need 3 days, 4 students, and we need those 3 days to train you everything there is to rap, at least so that when you come out of the class, you feel confident enough to learn how to do a rap or do a rap for your friends. Practice on that until you get good. We teach you
Right.
techniques like cutting on the vehicle without cutting through the paint. How to work with KPMF, how to work with Chrome, how to work with chameleons. Everything there is. That's why we need those 3 days. And honestly, our average price per student right now is $2,000.
Wow.
It's a small price to pay for an industry that makes so much money with low costs.
Oh my
Startup.
God, yeah. Yeah, and the other side too, you've got to pay for, the practice material that supply for them. You probably have to buy the squeegees. Are you sending them home with a small startup kit, squeegee and all that stuff?
We send them home with the basic squeegees, blade, and a catalog where to buy everything. But not only
Right.
that, we actually have a hotline that is going to be set up for students to call back. Hey, I got this bumper. I can't take it apart. Hey, this bumper looks a little difficult. How do I stretch around this corner? Or I have a problem taking off this antenna. We have a hotline set up for each student so that you can always call us, and as a reference, we'll tell you exactly what to do or walk you through it. So it's not only like we're just training you and sending you off. We're here to build a relationship with each student and help them succeed in the rap industry.
Right. That's a great incentive, and not a lot of people are doing that. Either that or you have to pay some extra to get on a line and talk to somebody.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's a big investment. Say I get a lot of people asking me about the training, and I tell them it's $2,000, and they're like, "Oh shit, I could wrap my car for $2,000." Like anybody can do
Yeah,
anything for
but think
$2,000. Are
about
you
how
really
many
gonna learn
cars you
it?
can wrap for $2,000. And the other
Exactly.
side, you wrap a car a week, times 4 weeks in a month, you're talking what, 2, 4, 6, 8 grand, you know?
Yeah.
It's not that bad. Your return's pretty good. The material to wrap a sedan, you could probably get away with what, I don't know, 20 yards, 25
Yeah.
yards max. Probably talking under $800 just the material, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and then it's just your time. Just in time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It's a great market for to make money. Like you said,
it
it's a
is,
great market to make money.
and not only that, but here let's face the facts again on this. You can easily sign up for Rap Institute for what is it? What was it? $100 a year or $200 a year? Um, you can easily, yeah, you can easily sign up for that. You have it on your laptop. You can learn all the techniques. But let's face it. Are you really gonna go ahead and feel like you have to do it just with that $100 investment, or would you actually feel like you actually have to do it if you're spending $2,000? Like, oh, you know what? If I don't do this, I spent $2,000 and didn't do anything. So
Right.
it kind of makes you commit to that industry, but it honestly I feel like it's really undervalued. That price per student eventually is going to go up to around $3,000 because that's what I feel like it's worth. And we're giving you $1 million industry for 2-3 grand. It's worth more
For
than $1 million.
nothing.
Exactly, but it makes you commit.
And even still, you could still learn just the basics online, doing some YouTube. There's plenty of people that can go out and figure out where to buy this stuff. I mean, I'm sure there's a Fellers or many of Fellers near you, or a Grimco they can walk into and walk out with some material and just do their own car at home and try to figure out how to use it,
Yeah,
and they could set themselves up. You can make an easy 100K a year, and that's not even breaking a sweat.
yeah, on your own time.
Easily. And yeah, exactly. After working full time, you
Yep.
know. So I think that's a great offer, and to have the class smaller, and you can get more hands on with the individual people to really talk about the material. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's someone can sit there and teach you, yeah, you squeegee this way, you pull this way, you do this. But you know what? You really have to sit back and just let them figure it out. Hold the material, pull the material. You really have to be knowledgeable in how that product works as far as how far you could stretch it. Because that's probably the number one fail is overstretching. You might not see the color shift when you're stretching it real hot and pushing it around
Yep.
that bumper,
They
or
don't want to come back.
tucking it in that fender. But you know what? You cut that thing and all of a sudden it's snapping back. And you're like,
Yeah.
what the hell? You know what I mean? And people don't understand the material's got to be relaxed. You have to heat it, and you don't lay it down right away. You got to let it cool down for count to 3 and then lay it down. You need to let it
Yeah.
settle. And a lot of people, I think the biggest mistake is people just overheat it, stick it, cut it, tuck it, and never look at it again. And then a month later, you've got all these crazy blowouts everywhere, and you can't understand why. And I think it's knowing the material and knowing its limitations is almost as important as putting the stuff on, because you
Yeah.
have to know that stuff.
Not only that, but not a lot of people even know about post heating. You don't post heat a wrap, no matter how good you've laid it. It's gonna come back if you don't post heat it. That's another thing. People just think you stick it on, it's done. Pull it out in the sun the next
Right.
day, and your whole wrap is peeling up. So it's
Or places you've missed that are bubbling up. It's you have to do that.
Yeah, and like I said, we've been through every single nightmare you can think of until we ran out of stuff to mess up on, to where now we just got our recipe that we stand by, works every time. It's just a different car now.
Right, and you're gonna go through many of difficulties getting into the commercial industry. Figuring out the printer and file formatting and proper colors and things of that nature. I mean, it's a whole nother part of the industry that takes a while to learn. I mean, there's a lot of moving mechanics that goes on when you're creating a file, and are you going to cut it? And then you got to put a cut file in it, and having that all set up and working as one unit. It's tough, but I think you've got the ingredients, or the perfect ingredients, to make your shop run seamlessly. With the HP, the GraphTech, and your laminator. I mean, those are the 3 basic things, and people don't understand. You really have to invest in good brands and good products out there, because there's so much you can choose from. I mean, you can go the 2-in-1 cutter and the printer, and
Yeah.
sometimes the cutter doesn't work that well, and it's not a good option, especially if you're trying to pump out a bunch of products. You can't be waiting for the thing to finish cutting to print your next job.
Yeah. Nobody has that time,
And I think you
man.
did your research. I think you're going to be very, very happy with what you got going on right now.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know we're gonna have a lot of, there's gonna be new problems now, but those new problems we're just gonna have to figure out. Like you said, I want to say what I'm predicting that is gonna be our main problem is like lining up graphics. Like I said, color, making sure that it's the right color. We need a color chart for that. The installation.
I would invest in the Pantone. Invest in the Pantone chip chart. I mean,
Okay,
that thing's going to help you tremendously. I've got one here that I'm looking at right now that I got. It's made from, I'll tell you right now. It's
what
the Color
exactly
Bridge
is that?
coated.
I know it's I know they're like color codes for printers, but doesn't your printer actually have to print out stuff first and then you match it up to that, or how does that work?
Yeah, it's pretty much a plethora of colors. You basically every color you could think of. You can calibrate your printer to print these specific colors. I think it might be just like a plugin that you can put in. You might already have it in there. If you go underneath your Illustrator or you go underneath your Photoshop files, where you go to swatches, you should be able to pull up a swatch for coded the coded Pantone palette, and it's going to give you like some numbers, and so those numbers are going to correspond with the numbers on your chart that you have, your little booklet.
Gotcha.
And man, it's a big investment, but it alleviates the guessing. Especially when you're getting into like colors where it's like blues are probably the worst colors you could try to like match. Reds are okay, because you can either be too red or too pink. The blues are probably the worst ones to color match because there's a lot of colors in between.
Yeah,
you can either be really light or really dark. It's tough, but as soon as your client sees this color chart outside, I mean, you're basically hitting that color every time, which is great.
That's what we need.
Yeah, definitely the Pantone book from Color Bridge. I think I got it off Amazon for, I think I spent like $140 on it.
Okay.
Great investment to have.
Yeah, I think they have it in the Feller's book too. I've seen it. I just didn't. I'm all new to this print world stuff, so I'm gonna have a lot of learning to do with that. But I did notice that little book that I just didn't know how it links up with the printer and how it's used with the printer.
Yeah, so like I said, you can get it through your swatches. You could actually go to Color Bridge too, and I think they have a almost like a profile you can download and just put it right into your Illustrator or Photoshop, and it will give you those exact colors. So you pretty much just use those colors as you're creating your design, and you're basically gonna hit those colors. I think you have to calibrate your printer or something to that nature. It's been a while, but I think you might have to calibrate your printer in order to hit those Pantones, or you've got to click a button saying that you want to print with the Pantone palette and not just like the regular profiles that they give you, because when you go to print it, you're going to get profiles to use for specific media. So for the IJ180, 3M makes a profile that you can download off their website to print the best on that media on that machine, and it will calibrate it to print the best quality or the richest colors for those particular for that particular print. But I think you can do the same thing with the Pantones and be able to hit those colors. But definitely look into that. Maybe ask that question when the tech is out, and maybe he'll be able to download those files for you and get it calibrated right away. That way you're ready to go.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely look into that because we don't have no time for guessing.
Yeah, definitely. That alleviates a lot of guessing, especially when you're trying to figure out that color, man. It's probably that's gonna be a big learning curve, but you guys will get through it. I mean, you guys got a pretty good team going on, and you guys know what you guys are going for, and you've got good equipment, like I said, and it's just trial and error.
That's all it is.
That's it, man. We'll wrap up here. Man, Eddie, really appreciate you coming on the podcast and talking.
No
We had a
problem,
good hour of talking, man, and I think we got a lot of great content and talked about a lot of great stuff on here.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I appreciate it, man, having me on here. We should do probably another one just to follow up to see what's going on in the shop. That's probably what I'd want to see in the future. Maybe is just following up with these rap shops you already did the interviews with, and seeing what the updated stuff they're going on and all that.
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I'm going to be following up with a lot of shops. I'll probably do like a 6-month follow up and revisit the people who are changing the game and talk about new stuff and come back and see how you're doing with the printing.
Yeah, most definitely.
For sure. Let everyone know where they can find you, social media accounts, website, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, you can visit us at streetimageraps.com. We also have Instagram, street_image. Make sure you go ahead and follow us. Got a lot of good stuff to see.
Eddie, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. We'll talk soon.
All right, Jeff. Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank Eddie for taking the time out today to talk to us about some great topics. Stay tuned for next week's guest, Dan, at Travel Raps. We're going to be talking about some good stuff. Till then, that's a wrap.